So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. Today's story is a story of late Mr. GBENGA OWOLABI, a US-based Nigerian businessman who, after 30 years of successfully residing and working abroad, chose to relocate and set up a business back in his father's land, only for him to have been abducted on the very day of his arrival and eventually eliminated alongside a member of his staff and one other innocent person. Do watch till the end because the identity of the alleged masterminder of this dastardly act have been revealed by the police. And boy, it would shock you to your bone marrow to know who. So Mr. GBENGA OWOLABI, or GBENGA as he was fondly called by his family and friends, was a middle-aged Nigerian man. He hailed from Oyo State, western part of Nigeria, but he had spent an appreciable number of years in the United States working and residing there. You see, there are two categories of Nigerians who relocate abroad. The first category are those who I term the happy to escape. These set of people are so excited to have severed ties with their motherland, with the country called Nigeria. They almost despise the place and have sworn never to step a foot back in. They have no interest whatsoever in what is happening in Nigeria. They can't be bothered about its politics or its economic woes. They are basically so happy to be out, and for them, there is no looking back. The second category, on the other hand, are the people that I like to term the Agaracha must come back. These set of people left not because they hate the country. They left because perhaps they got the opportunity to experience an improved life for themselves and for their families. While abroad, they miss home so much. They miss the weather, they miss the food, they miss the lifestyle, they miss their families, the communal way of living, the African communal way of living. They miss the food, they miss the markets, they miss the parties, they miss their friends. They believe that the white man's land can never be home. They long for and look forward to a better country. They are constantly checking in and showing interest in the news about their countries. They look forward to a time where they would come back home in their later years and invest and retire to a life of serenity and tranquility. They love their country with a passion, but probably loathe the politicians who they believe are ruining the country. The late Mr. GBENGA fell in the later category, the category that loved their country but merely had to go to get a source of living with the intention of coming back home to retire. You see, the late Mr. GBENGA was a very, very hardworking man. He lived in Maryland, United States for a long time, yet his heart still beats for his country, Nigeria. While hustling and bustling in the cold and other unfavorable conditions abroad, his life dream was to save enough money, repatriate his funds back for investment in Nigeria, create employment for his people, and retire to a serene and peaceful communal life. And this dream he had started actualizing gradually. So first, he built or set up a farm there in his hometown at Ogbomosho. He hired hands to run it. He was still based in the United States, but monitoring the business remotely, shuttling between the US and Nigeria intermittently. Nothing gave Mr. GBENGA greater joy than repatriating his funds all the way from the US back to his fatherland to invest and boost the economy of his own country. When the farm structure was all set and running, Mr. GBENGA began building a hotel. Not in the big city of Lagos, not in the oil base of Port Harcourt, not in the capital city of Abuja. He wasn't having any more of the fast metropolitan city life. He chose to invest in and build this hotel right in his hometown at Ogbomosho in Oyo State. A decision that he didn't even have the privilege of living to regret. So that exactly was what he did. And by December last year, he was in Nigeria to open the hotel up for business. He named it Tana Sweets. He remained in Nigeria up until March of this year, after which he returned back to the United States to prepare and finalize his final relocation back to Nigeria. After many decades of successfully living in the United States. If only premonitions could be clearer. If only one could get a sight of the future. If only instincts would not only tell you but would actually stop you. If only Mr. GBENGA knew, he would never have embarked on that trip, which would turn out to be his last. So Mr. GBENGA returns to Nigeria full of hopes, dreams, and excitement. But only a few hours after his arrival, he was picked up by daredevil gunmen right there in his hotel premises. He was picked up alongside one of his young female staff, Rachel Okpadele, a final year undergraduate of Lautech, a university located there in Oyo State. Well, if you're not Nigerian or you're not abreast of what's happening with universities in Nigeria, let me save you the pain of a Google search and tell you. The Academic Staff Union of Universities in Nigeria, ASU, have been on a strike action for almost 1 year, forcing all universities in Nigeria to shut down and all the students sent back home. According to them, they are protesting the government's refusal and unwillingness to grant them their dues and allowances. And they have sworn that the universities will remain shut until their demands are met. University students, our youth, the easy targets for crime, the leaders of tomorrow, the fiber of any sane working society, have been languishing at home for months, caught up in this endless feud between the ASU, the University Union, and the federal government in Nigeria. Some of them taking to crime, some of them taking to prostitution, some of them taking to all vices to keep busy and get money. But not Miss Rachel Okpadele. Miss Rachel was a final year student on the verge of graduation before this strike action began. She was bored and sick and tired of sitting at home, waiting endlessly for the federal government and ASU to reach a truce. So the industrious young lady decided to put her time to use. Hence, she sought and got employment at Mr. GBENGA's hotel there in Ogbomoso to keep busy and earn a few bucks. There she worked until she was abducted alongside Mr. GBENGA. Just as is the usual pattern, the abductors of Rachel and Mr. GBENGA reached out to his family and demanded a whopping 100 million naira ransom. After much pleading and begging and negotiations and back and forth, they finally agreed to a 50 million naira ransom for their release. That's or nothing. Let us briefly listen to the agonizing voice of Mr. GBENGA in captivity.
Hello?
Hello, sir.
Sir, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How work?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Ogbeni, what you have this night?
That's what I'm saying. The money is now 1.4.
Ogbeni, do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Ogbeni, I'm not going to sleep here today. I will kill this Baba to go.
Sorry, please.
Why Baba tell you to make it with the money? You know, go bring. Say, no money for Baba. Send her your own money.
I say he has asked me to talk to people, and I've talked to them. If they have given me the money, why I not go bring?
Can you tell me? What can you tell me now? Okay, Larry.
At the real be 1.4 million, right?
I'm gonna go. I'm dying tonight. Can you also buy one pay? I just never me. If I say number is working before me, but if I couldn't be, I want me to demand you flow, man. I just bring my similar Joe. The John to him now.
So that was a sad audio recording of Mr. GBENGA begging and pleading for his life, urging and asking his family members to do everything they could to get the ransom. He cried that he was badly tied up and blood was no longer flowing through his veins. His family rallied around, cleared their bank accounts, solicited for funds, gathered every dime they could lay their hands on, and were able to muster a sum of 5 million naira cash. So they packaged this money in the bag as instructed and got it delivered to the abductors. If you were thinking that 5 million naira is more than enough money for people who did not work for it, you better think again. Because after taking this money, these daredevil men went ahead to end the life of Mr. GBENGA, end the life of his staff, the university student, Rachel Okwadele, also went ahead to end the life of the bike rider, the motorcycle rider who delivered the money to them. It was not a double tragedy. It was a horrible, horrible triple tragedy. About a week after this gut-wrenching news broke out, another shocking news followed. It was rumors that the masterminders of Mr. GBENGA's abduction had been apprehended by the police, and that the person who orchestrated it was none other than his own blood brother of the same parents. Now, this news sounded very credible to a lot of people for these reasons. One, Mr. GBENGA was picked up only a few hours after he arrived in Nigeria. This was by no chance a random pickup. It was planned by an insider. It seemed so much like an intel that had been given by an insider. Secondly, Mr. GBENGA had cooperated with his abductors, so there seems to have been no reason why they went ahead to have eliminated him. So people's suspicion was that probably he saw the face of somebody who he was very familiar with, a face suspected to be that of his brother. So a lot of people were taken by this narrative. But Mr. GBENGA's family swiftly came out to debunk this information. They claimed that this rumor lacked any merit or truth, and that the perpetrators of that act was not a family member of the Owolabis. Well, nothing stays hidden forever, and time will certainly tell. And when it tells, you can be sure that I would update you with the truths, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Before we close this rather sad video, I made a categorization earlier in this video of people who have traveled out of their hometowns, who have traveled out of their countries, or those who are intending to travel, whether Nigeria or any other African country. Are you amongst the batch who have left and would never ever want to come back? Or do you fall under the other category that miss their home country and have a dream to come back to invest and retire in their fatherland? Which of these two categories do you fall in if you have traveled or you intend traveling out of your country? Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. The story of Mr. GBENGA and Miss Rachel is particularly painful. I pray that God Almighty grants their soul eternal rest and bring the perpetrators of this dastardly act to books. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on your bell notifications, drop all your feelings in the comment section, and stay glued for our next video. It's me, your girl barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.